And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to race number 7 of Season 8 of the NNSCRA Oreo Truck Series. Today we are here for Truck Series action at the Tricky Triangle, Pocono Raceway, here in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. Getting ready for 30 laps of racing here today in the Pocono Mountains 150, with Dylan Young sitting on the pole. And this is a huge pole position for Dylan Young here, especially here in the second half of the season. It has been a very struggling season for the driver of the 84 Toyota Tundra. He comes into this race right now 41st in the points, and that's only 6 points above Michael Norman, who is 42nd dead last in the current Oreo Truck Series standings. So Dylan Young really needs a good run today, and one thing I've noticed about Pocono definitely is track position. You start up at the front, you got a better chance of not getting involved in the wreck that takes place usually from just outside the top 10 all the way back to just outside the top 20. That's usually the trouble spot, and it usually happens more sooner than later. So Dylan Young in a good spot right now to avoid that first wreck, and he could be able to maybe come away with his first Truck Series victory of the season. Alongside of him is going to be Charles Jackson in the 32. Now, Jackson's season started out really good. He was up there inside the top 10, top 15 in points. Recently, though, he's had a streak of pretty poor finishes. He's now down to 17th in points. Needs a good run here today to get his momentum back. Trent Dunham, former Truck Series champion here in the trucks, he is lined up in third. Trent Dunham's actually been starting to work his way through the points a little bit. He was running down around the 40th, 41st position in points, now up to 39th. He really needs a lot of good runs, all consecutive, though, to work his way up through the points. And alongside of him is going to be John Trollston. Trollston comes into this race 29th in points. He is way down at the bottom, closer to the bottom of the list in the rookie points. He also needs a good run here today. Let's move to Dylan Young as we'll get the trucks rolling off. If you look at the top of your screen, you'll see the starting lineup for today's Pocono Mountains 150. Not going to take them too long to get around this racetrack, so we'll give you the points coming into today's Truck Series event. Caleb Farrell, who had a great run, I think it was a top 10 last week at Thornton, still continues to hold the points lead. He's now grown that points lead as well by 21 points now over second in points Alex Pedro. So rookies hold the top 2 spots in points. Jessica Shelton is now third in the standings. She is a total of 23 points back. Dylan Poteet, our winner from Daytona, he's fourth in points. And then a couple more rookies, fifth and sixth in points. Eric Rage is fifth, and George Roque is in sixth. Chris Washer is seventh in the standings. Cody Lamas, our winner from Atlanta, is eighth. Matthew Dallio, the highest starter of the drivers inside the top 10 in points today. He'll start from 5th place. He's 9th in points. And Sean Galligan has now cracked the top 10 in points after a decent run last week at Thornton as well. Drivers on the outside looking in include Luke Walker. He's 11th in points. Nick Smith is 12th. Bob Jones 13th. His teammate John Cedillo 14th. And Drew Austin is 15th in the standings coming into this race. Quite a bit of lag right there. I apologize for that. Right here is really the trouble spot, especially when they decide to go 3 wide, which I'm pretty certain we're going to see end up happening here early on, especially with a double wide start. And so these drivers are going to have to really try and keep it together here, but not very much banking in these turns, which means if you got a loose race car, more often than not, if you're on the low side, your car's going to slide up coming off of one of these 3 turns, and you're going to be in big trouble. As said, it is a tricky triangle, which means that there are only 3 turns here. I have, more often than not, said they come off turn number 4 coming to the stripe, and it's not correct. It's actually turn number 3, but the pace car peels off. Dylan Young and Charles Jackson come to the stripe. Green flag is out here in the Pocono Mountains 150. And keep in mind, after this race, there's only 3 more stops for these trucks before the chase begins. So, for drivers that are running way down in points like Dylan Young, like Charles Jackson, like John Trollston, like Trent Dunham, they need a good run here today. Or a win, preferably. So far, so good, but we haven't gotten yet to that treacherous turn 2 onto the Long Pond straightaway as Trent Dunham battles side by side with Charles Jackson. Dylan Young's been able to pull away. Let's watch in the back here now. This is where the trouble usually breaks out. Stephen Pollard, the third, caught in the middle there. Now they settle it back out to double wide. It looks like we may actually get a green flag lap in here at Pocono. That's very rare. Trent Dunham, wow, look at the suck up there as he got there into the slipstream of the 84. Now he's going to try and utilize it down the front straightaway here as he'll come to the inside on Dylan Young. Dunham picked up the tailwind off the back of the spoiler of the 84. Look at Charles Jackson, what a run he got. He's going 3 wide for the lead, but not going to be able to make it stick. Wow, that was quite a move there by Charles Jackson. He was able to pick up the tailwind off of the Trent Dunham machine. Almost was going to make it 3 wide, heading into 1. Thought better of it, though, and tucked back in line there. Now he'll battle side by side for second with Dylan Young. New leader, the number 1 Sega Chevy Silverado of Trent Dunham. As they continue to run cleanly there at the middle to rear of the field, which is quite surprising. Dunham now at the point. Charles Jackson looks like he's going to move into sole possession of second. John Trollston now going to try and go underneath Dylan Young for third. Looks like Dylan, though, is going to get enough of a run off of the turn 3 area that he'll be able to keep third position. Now the battle's on for fourth between John Trollston and Drew Austin. Chris Washer making some moves back here. He almost went 3 wide with Joe Davis and Andreas Allen. Actually side by side right now with Jessica Shelton. 2 drivers running well this season. Still looking, though, for their first win of the season here in trucks. Saw another driver up ahead that's actually running well in the points too. Right there, Drew Austin. Currently finds himself 15th in points. Trying to work his way into the top 10 in points right now in the 4th position, looking for third underneath Dylan Young. As a matter of fact, he and Charles Jackson kind of have a little bit of a 2-car tandem going on as they try and run down Trent Dunham. Trent, though, very much in command as we have run 4 laps here under green at Pocono, and now here comes Charles trying to get to the inside again, but he gets a run, but he's not able to get enough of a run to get to the inside of that left rear of the number 1 machine. He kind of seems to try and dive bomb it into 1, and then the car seems to bottom out on him, and he has to slide up back into the middle groove. He can get the run, but he cannot get the grip in order to make that momentum stick going into 1. But right here, he's actually getting a big run on Trent Dunham. He may actually try and make a move here coming into 3. Here he is, trying to take a peek. Still not able to quite get the momentum, though, to be able to make a move on Trent. And now he actually starts to fall into the clutches of Drew Austin. This is a good 4-way battle for second. Jackson, Austin, Dylan Young, and John Trollston. One driver we haven't looked for. He ended up going to victory lane last week at one of the toughest tracks in the circuit, Thornton. That's Henry Sanford. Moved up to 25th with his win. Not having the best of runs here today. He's back here in a hornet's nest. They're 3 wide here with points leader Caleb Farrell. Dylan Pote 4th in points. Alex Pedro 2nd in points is way back here too. There's the 7 on the high side there. The Speed Energy Dodge. And Dylan Poteet's in a really precarious position right now. Still caught in the middle, 3 wide. Now with Mason Wood and Levi McIntyre. So it looks like the points leader's been able to work his way out of that 3 wide situation. Now racing side by side with Dylan Thoreau, but that is only, I believe, for the 31st position. So the points leader not having exactly a good day. He's running, but he's not running up near the front. 29th was where he was scored last time by. Cody Lamas back here, Sean Galligan, Luke Walker, a number of drivers running well in the points that are not up here at the front. As a matter of fact, we may actually have a battle on for, I believe this is for the lead. Nope, this is for second. My apologies. I didn't know if they had passed Trent Dunham or not. I didn't see Dunham passed, so I wasn't sure if it was for second for the lead. But it still is Trent Dunham leading. Jackson 2nd, Austin 3rd, Dylan Young now in 4th. And now James McLeod starts to make some waves up here. He's now looking on John Trollston. That would be for the 5th position. McLeod comes into this race 26th in points, and I would say that probably this has been the quietest Truck Series season he's had for a while. a couple of seasons ago. He was a 3-time winner in the Truck Series. He was a winner, I believe, in Trucks last season. Trying to find the mojo he had back in Season 6 is James McLeod. As right now he's running very well and with an opportunity to maybe pounce, get himself a top 5, maybe even a win depending on what happens here if we get into pit stops. As it's side by side right now between Charles Jackson, Drew Austin, that's for second. Trollston now going to take the opportunity to go underneath of Dylan Young, that would be for fourth. And now that's going to bring James McLeod right up into this battle. Look at the run he got. He's now going to go for 5th place off of Dylan Young. This all going on behind the Trent Dunham machine, though. Trent's got to be loving this, with them consistently battling for that second position. Still a long ways to go in this race, though. 30 laps here at Pocono, and we've not even yet reached 10 laps complete. Now we're down to 8 on to lap 9. Trent Dunham continuing to lead here. Now they're starting to get really racy back here for spots inside the top 5. Joe Davis and Jessica Shelton have now joined this group. Tanner Sullivan about to join them as well. But right now, Trent Dunham is the current leader. We'll come back as soon as we can, hopefully before these drivers may have to make some green flag pit stops. Don't go away. Action continues here in the Pocono Mountains 150 at Pocono Raceway. Welcome back here to the Pocono Mountains 150 at Pocono Raceway, race 7 of season 8 of the Oreo Truck Series. And we are under our first caution of the day. And these are scheduled stops. Trent Dunham giving up the lead to come to pit road. Number of other drivers electing to come down here with him. Dylan Young, Charles Jackson, Drew Austin. Number of drivers who have been running up at the front of the pack all day long as Trent Dunham and everybody complete their service, come off of pit road here. Trollston was also on pit road, so was Galligan, looked like Cody Hagan. And this is going to turn the lead over, I believe, to the 30 of James McLeod, who is the leader right now over Jessica Shelton, Tanner Sullivan, Nick Smith. But these drivers have not yet been to pit road, so we are 1/3 of the way through the race. Let's find out what this yellow flag came out for here at Pocono. And our first caution is going to come out for rookie Zach Hamlin in the 61. And it looks like he's just going to kind of crowd Cody Lamas coming here into this corner. Didn't really give Cody very much room, and Cody was there. Nice avoidance by Caleb Farrell, the points leader. And Zach's just going to get spun around, and his truck's facing the wrong way up there on the high side. I believe that's of turn 3. Everybody's able to get around. That was pretty close towards the rear of the field, too, so that was rather fortunate. But basically, a solo truck spins will put this under caution. Cody Lamas will have some damage out of that, I'm pretty certain. But I believe both of them will be able to continue. So let's head back now for the restart here at Pocono. And now it looks like we aren't going to be heading back for the restart just yet, because now everybody else is coming to pit road. As a matter of fact, Trent Dunham and all those guys came down pit road after the caution flag had waved. They had not come yet to the stripe. It was actually a photo finish between James McLeod and Jessica Shelton for who was going to lead under the yellow flag. And now everybody that didn't come to pit road when that caution came out in the last lap is now coming to pit road this time. So this will definitely shuffle the field up for certain. Don't exactly know how it's going to look, so everybody completes their pit stop. Zach Hamlin a little bit longer of a pit stop there as they try and repair his Roush number 61 Ford F-Series. But yellow is out. Let's head back now for the restart as pit stops have kind of shuffled up here this entire field after our first caution. So we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here on lap 14 of 30. Nearing the halfway point of this event, Trent Dunham is the leader. Second is John Trollston. Third place will be Drew Austin. Fourth will be Charles Jackson and Joe Davis, who will complete the top 5. Bob Jones runs in 6th. 7th is Dylan Young. Chris Washer 8th. Cody Hagan in 9th. And Sean Galligan runs in 10th. 11th is Matthew Dalio. 12th Daniel Voiles. 13th place is going to be Brandon Krasta. 14th Carson Gum. 15th is Eric Enrage. Luke Walker runs 16th. James McLeod, who made that pit stop, he's going to start all the way back in 17th position. So it'll be interesting to see if he and the other drivers behind him can make up ground. Nick Smith in 18th. 19th is Jessica Shelton. And completing the top 20 is Tanner Sullivan. So Trent Dunham and all those other drivers who decided to come to pit road when the yellow flag was waving there, they made a good choice because it's gained them the track position here from first back through 18th. But let's see what's going to happen here if these drivers may have to pit again before this race is over. Green flag back out here at Pocono. Trent Dunham and company came down pit road, I believe it was on lap number 9. I believe it was 9, it might have been lap 10. And then everybody else came down pit road one lap later. So I'm assuming, according to what I'm seeing with the fuel window, now that just may have been a timely caution, they were able to pit earlier than they would have had to. But I'm almost wondering, with the fact that they came down pit road when the caution came out, instead of waiting to pit under caution, I'm almost thinking, more than likely, they are not going to be able to make it the rest of the way without having to pit at least one more time. So that's going to throw a monkey wrench into the situation. The crew chiefs are going to have to be working the calculators, finding out when's the best time to come to pit road for that final stop. Trent Dunham has dominated this race after getting to the front. He has held back all comers. As a matter of fact, he's really not had much of a challenge for the lead. He may get one now, though, as he kind of moved up there into that corner. Well, he seems to like using the middle groove into the entrance of turn 1, and it got him a good run again this time. Opens up some daylight between himself and the second place driver of John Trollston. Battle on for third. These two have been going at it quite a bit. Drew Austin and Charles Jackson. Now Jackson tucks back in line. Here comes Bob Jones, though, to the inside for the 4th position. Bob Jones, this is a great opportunity for him to move into the top 10 in points. 13th in the standings, and right behind him, Chris Washer in the 5. Washer comes in 7th in points. This is a big, big run for that 5 team. Chris Washer, I'm trying to remember last season. If my memory serves me correctly, he did not have a good Truck Series season last year. I think he drove the 87. He had 2 wins in Snickers last season, but he did not have a very good Truck Series program. And this season, they have really come a long ways after he moved over to that 5 team. Now look who's right behind him, Sean Galligan. Now moving by Joe Davis. That would be, I believe, for the 7th position. So Galligan all of a sudden making his presence felt here this season. 10th in the standings, now moving up the leaderboard into, I believe, officially now the 7th position. As now Drew Austin, that's not Charles Jackson, I apologize, that's actually John Trollston. They're going to battle for 2nd, and Austin's not going to be able to get the run. Well, you remember at our Snickers Cup Series race at Dover, it basically came down to who was willing to risk it, who was willing to not come to pit road, risk it on fuel, and see if they could make it. And it was Dylan Pote who rolled the dice and was able to make it. And a lap down machine in Cody Lamas was able to battle back and finish 2nd by staying out. Here in this race, we could have a very similar situation. I mean, it may not come down to that pit stop. It may come down to whether someone may be willing to gamble and risk it and stay out. Keep in mind, in the Mobile and Truck Series, we use the old NNSCRA scoring system, where the drivers who finish 1st through 10th in points at the end of the regular season get in, and then our 2 wildcard spots going to drivers that are the highest running outside of the top 10 that have wins. So, if you're a driver like Trent Dunham, who is running so far down in points, down in 39th, knowing that you have to make it up, race your way up into the top 10 in points in the next 3 events after this, do you risk it and just stay out and try and go for that win? He does have drivers up ahead of him in points that are winners this season as well. Henry Sanford is as far up as 25th in points. Kyle Matthews is 20th. And Luke Walker is the other winner that's outside the top 10 points, but he's 11th in the points, so he's kind of out of reach, if you will. But, you know, I mean, Trent Dunham, yes, he's dominated this race, but you can dominate an entire race, then come to pit road, someone gambles and stays out, and it doesn't matter how dominant your car was, you've lost the event. So, you know, if you're Trent Dunham, you may end up considering trying to make it the entire rest of the way. And right now, we are getting ready to, in just about 2 laps, hit the 10 to go mark. So it's getting to that fuel window time. It's getting to crunch time. These drivers are going to be on pins and needles on whether or not they're going to be able to make it the rest of the way. Battle is on for 4th place. Sean Galligan continuing to make waves up here as he'll now go underneath Bob Jones for the 4th position. Bob trying to get the run off of turn number 2 here. This has been, quite honestly, one of the calmest races I have had at Pocono in a long time. And actually, I kind of enjoy it rather than the wreckfests. This is, I believe, going to be the only time you'll see drivers racing here at Pocono, too. I don't think we have it on the Mobile or Snickers Cup Series schedule. Battle on for 2nd. John Trollston trying to get underneath of Drew Austin, but Austin's going to hang on to that spot. As now Chris Washer is going to go for the 4th position, I believe that is. Nope, that's 5th, rather, off of Sean Galligan. And we look here, too, at drivers running well in points that are up here at the front. Bob Jones, Sean Galligan, Chris Washer, Drew Austin. And you got to think that they're more than likely not going to gamble. They're not going to try and risk it because they're running well enough in points that if they can get in via top 10 in points, they will. That works for them. Oh, wait, Trent Dunham. Okay, I thought he hit the apron there. He's coming to pit road. So is Austin, so is Trollston, Jones, Jackson, Joe Davis, and Daniel Voiles, but a number of them decided to stay out, including Sean Galligan, who is the current leader. Chris Washer is now in 2nd. Dylan Young, the pole sitter, is now up to 3rd, and then the Retro Enterprises cars of Nick Smith and Jessica Shelton, who, if you remember, ended up pitting with James McLeod, who's actually back here in this pack, 1 lap later than everybody else did under that last caution. So, if that's the case, that means these drivers are going to be pitting this lap. I don't think these drivers are going to be able to make it a full 9 laps on 1 tank of fuel if Trent Dunham, who's been leading this race, has just now come to pit road. Let's see if Galligan gives any indication he's coming to pit road. Yep, he's coming. He's going to come to pit road. Washer's coming to pit road. Here they all come. 1 driver stays out. That's James McLeod's going to stay out this time. So McLeod's able to make it an extra lap, apparently. This could be strategy to maybe try and gain track position, because keep in mind, when James McLeod comes to pit road, he's not going to have to worry about traffic. He'll be able to pit all by his lonesome on pit road, and this is a track, not like a restrict plate track, where you can pit all by yourself and really not pay any consequences. It looks like James McLeod is still up to speed, too. I've been watching his speedometer, making sure he's not, trying to save fuel or anything. It looks like he is still completely up to speed. Just trying to get that thing to pit road here. I don't know. Is he out of fuel? No, if he were out of fuel, that thing be dropping. He's not had his fuel drop, or haven't had his speed drop at all. As now he'll hit the pit lane. He'll be all by his lonesome on pit road. Let's see if this strategy works out for James. He almost had a Snickers Cup Series win last week at Thornton. And he was really disappointed about not being able to pick up that victory. He's rolling the dice here. Pulling into his pit stall. They got to make this be the money stop. They got to really get this pit stop picture perfect. I'm trying to watch. Uh-oh, here comes the field. McLeod may be in trouble. Trent Dunham's already going to come down here to the stripe, and McLeod has not yet gotten off of pit road. So McLeod apparently was running so far back in the field that even with that strategy, it's not really going to work out for him. So Trent Dunham is going to reemerge as the leader, and he's grown his gap over second even larger than it was before they came to pit road. Galligan now second. Third place, Drew Austin. Washer fourth. And Daniel Voiles, who had a great run at Thornton last week, going to follow it up. Looks like maybe with another great run here today. He's up to fifth. That 24 teams all of a sudden come into their own. He moved up to 31st in points after his finish last week at Thornton. He may move himself up maybe into the top 25 after today's run, if he can stay where he is. Right now, though, it is all Trent Dunham. We'll wait for the scoring monitor to update. Indeed, Trent Dunham is the leader. Let's give you a rundown at least of the top 15. Second place is Sean Galligan. Third, Chris Washer. Drew Austin's fourth. Fifth place is Daniel Voiles. Brandon Krast is now up to sixth. Seventh, John Trolston. Bob Jones is in eighth. Ninth place is Nick Smith. And do you believe it? Caleb Farrell, the points leader, is again up inside the top 10. This team, I don't know what it is, but they always seem to, at the end of these races, find a way to put themselves up inside the top 10. They did it last week at Thornton. They were running back around 20th all race long. Before you knew it, they were battling to move into the top 10. And here today, after pit strategy apparently, and after pit stops, they're now up in the 10th position here. No doubt about it, that's championship material right there, and he has just been dominating these point standings. Right now, though, it's Trent Dunham leading the way. Nobody has really been able to make any challenge on him. It's Trent Dunham's race to lose, basically. But he could have some company. That second group right behind him of Washer and Galligan and company, they have been able to catch his tail end, and they are now going to start to run him down. So now Trent may have to do some mirror driving for the first time this entire race. Here comes Washer with a big head of steam. Won't be able to make the move this time, though, as Trent Dunham continues to hold that middle groove heading into the corner. That's been his defense all race long. And now they're going to continue to battle for second place. That's what Trent Dunham wants to see. Trent continuing to lead the way. Trent Dunham just got to hit his marks here for the next 5 laps. 5 to go here at Pocono. It's Trent Dunham. Battle is on for second again. Now Daniel Voiles peeks to the inside of his teammate Chris Washer for second. Racing double wide for second. It's got to be music to Trent Dunham's ears if that's what information his crew chief's relaying to. But look at the run that Washer got off of turn number 1. He's going to hold on to second and now try and run Trent Dunham down again. Here he comes, looking to the inside one more time. He's done it before, wasn't able to make it work. And Trent Dunham slams the door on him again here coming out of 2. But this is definitely the closest gap the field has had on Trent Dunham this entire race. And Trent Dunham may be starting to feel the pressure. He's just got to make sure he doesn't make a mistake here. Does Trent? Dunham, Washer, Voiles, Drew Austin, Sean Galligan. That is the top 5. Then Brandon Krast in 6th. And oh boy, look at this. Look at this. Oh, look out. Oh, Washer made it. He made it to the inside. That's the first time today Trent Dunham's let anybody to his inside. And Washer's going to complete the pass. The last time we saw him try and make it 3 wide there, they weren't able to get to the inside. And Washer has completed the pass on Trent Dunham, moved the 5 to the lead. That's the first mistake Trent Dunham has made all day long, and it could cost him a victory here at Pocono. Now Dunham's got to go on the attack. First time he's going to have to go on the attack for the last 20 or so laps. He's trying to catch the tail end off the Farmers Insurance Chevy. Now Washer's in the hot seat, and here comes Trent. Trent's going to try and get the run here on the bottom, heading into 1. Is he there to the left rear? I think he is. Oh, he's got to get the run here. No, he had to bail out a little bit here in order to make the entrance into the corner. Trent Dunham's car has been so solid heading into the middle groove in the entrance of the turns. Had to try and dive bomb it into 1, and apparently the car did not stick. Now here comes Daniel Voiles for second. What a turn of events. Chris Washer, waiting for his moment, picked his time, and it was the right time. As now Voiles moves into second, making it a Hendrick Motorsports 1-2 at the front of the field. So Trent Dunham, in a matter of about 3 laps, has gone from the lead now back to 3rd. Like I said, he had to try and make sure he didn't make a mistake. Apparently he did, though. Chris Washer was so strong coming down the front straightaway with that run, he was able to get to the inside and make it stick and keep his car underneath the left rear of the one machine. 2 to go, less than 2 to go actually. Washer leads. Now his teammate Daniel Voiles trying to run him down for this lead. Voiles, though, did not really get through that corner very well. The gap now opens up about 4 or 5 truck lengths between the 5 and the 24. Trent Dunham right behind Daniel Voiles. He's got to kind of stay single file with the 24 so they can draft their way up to the back bumper of the 5. But time could be running out. How about the 94 of Nick Smith all of a sudden up here? He's moved to 4th place in that Retro Enterprises entry. Now the battle on for 5th. Galligan underneath of Drew Austin. But they come to the white flag. Gap remains about 3 truck lengths. Chris Washer, one more time for Chris. Can he finally go to victory lane this season in Truck Series competition? Daniel Voiles looking to try and make an entrance into this corner. Oh, he was able to make it stick. He was able to make it stick. He's got to run. He's right on the back bumper. Can he make a move to the inside here coming down this straightaway? He's got Dunham right behind him. Daniel, you got to make it now. Here he comes. Here comes Daniel Voiles. But he doesn't have any help. Trent Dunham's not there on the inside to help him. Can Voiles stay to the inside of the left rear? He drives it hard there into that corner, but it's not going to work this time. Still about maybe half a car length between Chris Washer, Daniel Voiles. Last time for Voiles to make a run. Here we go into turn 3. Voiles still about a half a car length off the back bumper. Coming out of turn 3 for the final time. Chris Washer's going to hang on for the final 4 laps. He's going to win here at Pocono Raceway. His first Truck Series win of the season. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that may be his first Truck Series win of his career, because I don't think he went to victory lane at all last season, and that was his rookie season in trucks. So Chris Washer is going to capture his first Truck Series win of his career here at Pocono, and it's a Hendrick 1-2 finish, as well as his teammate Daniel Voiles is going to come away with a solid run. I think it's his second straight top 5 finish here this season in that 24 car. And what a heartbreak for Trent Dunham. Dominated this race, and as I said, you can dominate a race and you can lose the win in a matter of laps, and that's exactly what happened. As Trent Dunham's going to finish 3rd. Nick Smith's going to get 4th place here today. Great run for that rookie. And 5th place is going to be, I believe, Drew Austin. So Chris Washer's going to stay out. He'll do a celebratory victory lap. What a great win for him. Let's just quickly take a look at our top 10 here. We went through the top 5. Sean Galligan, he'll probably stay in the top 10 in points. Actually, he will. 6th place run here today. Brandon Crasta, that was a big surprise here today with his pit strategy. Nice run for him in 7th. 8th place to Bob Jones, so he could move inside the top 10 in points here today. Joe Davis, nice run for him. The highest running of the Turner cars here today. And then you got Cody Hagan. He completed the top 10. So Cody making a last minute move there into the top 10. So Hendrick, 3 of their cars finishing the top 10 here today. Trollston gets 11th. Dylan Young was able to hang on for 12th. And the points leader, Caleb Farrell, that's what I was looking for. He's going to finish out 13th today, so he will definitely keep the points lead heading next week. How about Alex Pedro? We didn't really talk much about him. Saw him near the back. 2nd in points coming into this race. He'll finish with a 17th place finish, so not a bad comeback for him. And James McLeod, who tried rolling the dice, staying out an extra lap over everybody, he'll finish out the day in 19th place, so that strategy didn't really work out too well in his favor. But Chris Washer, the dishwasher, washes dishes here today as he's going to pick up the victory in the Truck Series event here at Pocono. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. Here comes your official full finish results. Overall points stands for points heading into our next Truck Series event. We still have Mobile and 6 Cup Series action this weekend, as they'll be at Michigan International Raceway. Hope you'll tune in for that. Be sure to follow the NNSCRA Sports channel on Facebook and on Twitter. The links to those social media areas are in the description. You've been watching production of NNSCRA Offline Racing.